We already finished up chapter 7 and a brief hit on chapter 9. And this next week, we are going to be moving into chapter 8. You guys are completely rocking it and learning lots of new skills for your tool belt. So with chapter 7, our big thing was that we talked all about our exponents and roots. And so now we have all of those additional pairs. Remember, I like to call it PEMDAS, just so that we can see that everything really does have a pair. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponents, and roots. And so we all have a way to undo. If you can do something, you can undo it. And as we have learned all of this, we have learned how to graph it. The big part that we've been learning is how to find an answer for x. So if we have an answer for x, we know that y equals 0 so that x can equal some number. That means all of our answers for all of our solutions lie on that x-axis where y is equal to 0. And if it didn't cross, so say we had a parabola that hovered above or below our x-axis and we said it didn't have a solution. So the thing that we're going to be shifting into as we move into chapter 8 is we're going to be taking all of the information that we know about our current operation pairs, and we're going to be learning one new operation pair. And that is called exponential functions and logarithmic functions. So you might say, well, Ms. Thomas, we already learned about exponents, and exponents have the opposite of roots. True. This is when our exponent is unknown, when our base is unknown and our exponent is known. Then we know how to take the root of it. What we are moving into is when our base is known and yet our exponent is unknown. Because we need to know how to solve for x in all spaces. So I call this one x's feet are on the ground. In here, x's feet are up in the air. So how do we get x out of the air and back on the ground? What does it look like to graph an exponential function? If we have an exponential function where x is up in the air here, there has to be an opposite, right? Because every math property has to be able, order of operations has to have an opposite to undo it. So as we learn our exponential functions, we will also learn our logarithmic functions, which is the undo. And what we find now is that no longer are our x values only the places where it crosses the x-axis. We will be able to find values for x up along the graph on a different part of it, above and below. So that's how we're going to take what we know and how to use it for what we are going to learn this next 2 weeks.